come the big chief, the big chief. Yellow Pocahontas, pretty night war hunters, and we don't bow down on nobody's ground. But I love to hear you call us Indian race. The wild Swatula, wild Chapatula, wild West Shoshone Nation, wild, wild creation. We don't bow down on nobody's ground. But I will love to hear them call us Indian race. The golden eagle, wild magnolia, the little red, white, and blue, the pretty monogram hunters, and we don't bow down on nobody's ground. But I will love to hear them call us Indian race. And here comes the spy ball, flag ball. Check out the crazy wild man. The wildest in the Lord, man, we love our queen, Queen of New Orleans. But I would love to hear them call us Indian race. Here come Big Chief to the Montana, the yellow Pocahontas. Big Chief.
Hey, this is Mike, and thanks for watching my trailer for, well, where we go? Here we go. Called A Good Night for Ghosts. And this is a book by Mary Pope Osborne. I keep wanting to say Chapman for some reason. But this is a Magic Tree House book. And it's this historical fiction book where we have our two characters in the book who go to visit 1915 New Orleans to find Louis Armstrong, who they call Dipper, and convince him that he needs to play his horn so he can be the king of jazz. And it's a nice little book. I actually can see Louis on the back there, or Dipper. And it's a nice historical fiction book because it does focus a lot on his life and chronicle some pieces of his life into the book. And it's interesting because each one of the chapters in the books, or in the book itself, relates to a title of a Louis Armstrong song. So we've got Way Down Yonder, New Orleans, Money Blues, Working Man Blues. So these are all actual songs of Louis Armstrong. The reason I chose this book and the other books that I'm going to show you is because I'm a huge Louis Armstrong fan. He's one of my favorite jazz artists of all time. And also because I love New Orleans. It's such a wonderful place. So this was the book that I read, A Good Night for Ghosts. And again, a nice historical fiction, very entertaining drawings and illustrations and so forth that I think that a beginning reader would be able to accurately and easily grasp this book and enjoy it. So that was my novel. And then I want to start out by just talking about some of the other books that I read. This book is Catfish Kate. And the reason that I picked this book was because of the fact that Catfish Kate focuses on Southern music. It's a band, a Southern band, and Catfish Kate and her friends in the swamp get together to form a band and play music together. I really like this book. Number one, it's pretty much a easy to read book. You can see this is Catfish Kate's band, the Sweet Swamp Band, playing all together. You can see she's got some characters from the swamp playing along with her, and that's Catfish Kate back there with the banjo in the background. And the pages do have quite a bit, quite a few words on them, but they have a lot of words that are kind of like almost Seussish to the effect. They have hum, strum, rattle, rattle, tooth-oodle, croon, scritch, scratch, zing, zang, those kind of things. So kind of, nonsensical type words, but actually bring the reader into the story. And then this is the beginning of the story. It shows Catfish Kate made up a little time. She hummed it, she strummed it, and Underneath the Moon. So I really like the illustrations in the book as well. I think that they're eye-catching. They're very whimsical. And as far as picture books, that's something that I've always enjoyed as far as learning about picture books this year or with this class, has been the fact that I really like the whimsical renditions of illustrations in the books and so forth, because I do believe that plays right into kids who want to watch or who want to read these type of books and so forth. Very colorful, very exaggerated expressions. This is Catfish Kate, and her friend, having a fight about who's going to lead the band. And so, again, a very nice book, very easy book, very entertaining book for kids. And I believe that this just plays upon Southern music again into the South. And that's why I chose this book as one of my picture books. One of the other picture books that I selected was a book called On Mardi Gras Day. And Mardi Gras is a very big thing down in New Orleans. But Mardi Gras is more than just about parades and, drinking and all that other stuff that adults have come to know Mardi Gras by. Mardi Gras is presented in this book as a traditional type of thing, very important for the legacy of African Americans in New Orleans, and especially African American families who have relatives who represent Mardi Gras Indians. So again, I chose this book based upon number one, it's from New Orleans, and number two, that it focuses on the Mardi Gras traditions. And I really like the fact that this whole book focuses on African Americans, so it's a very diversity-driven book on the African American people in New Orleans. This particular picture right here, this is a Mardi Gras Indian. I could have done a whole Reading Rainbow episode on just Mardi Gras Indians. But this one talks a little bit about the Mardi Gras Indians and how important they are to the Mardi Gras celebrations. And it tells about how their suits are made and so forth, and that they make them by hand. And then we go a little bit further into the story. And again, focusing on diversity, this is a picture of the Zulus. Zulus are an African American crew in New Orleans, and they're made up all of African Americans. And here it comes, Zulus now, brothers, shouts. This parade make fun of some old Southern traditions that once kept white and black people apart. So this is actually they're African American males who actually do a little bit of the blackface routine and hark back to the segregational days. And I really like the artwork in this book because it's very soft, muted colors, but very, very realistic. And I think that really does a lot to pull kids into the book, and it does give it a very good feel, almost like you're looking at paintings that somebody's recreated for Mardi Gras. So that's why I chose this book. That's Mardi Gras Day, on Mardi Gras Day. And then this was a natural tie-in. I was pretty surprised to find this at our local library. This is called What a Wonderful World. And basically, this is a book. It's illustrated by Ashley Bryan. It's written by George Weiss and Bob Thiel. But I chose this book because it's a word-for-word reading of the lyrics to What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. So the pictures in the book are very, very bright. They use a lot of bright colors, and they take up the whole page. So, we'll go in here and take a look at this one, for instance. It's basically, we can see that and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And you can see that the pictures are very bright and colorful. And I think that that's very eye-catching for the kids. And then if we go back here, one of the things I like about the illustrations in this book is that it's very diverse. Are also on the faces of people going by. So you see they've included a lot of diversity in this book, focusing on different ethnic populations and so forth. And it may not be the most interesting group type of read for an older child, but I think because of the fact that the lyrics are very straightforward and very simple, and because of the brightness of the pictures and the illustrations, I just really love it. And I think that young readers would actually enjoy this book because I think it's entertaining enough to capture and hold their thought processes. So this was actually What a Wonderful World, which again is a direct tie into Louis Armstrong and captures one of his best songs in my opinion. So. And then for my final book, I found this book. It's a biographical book on Louis Armstrong, jazz legend. And this book is straightforward. It talks a little bit about Louis Armstrong, and it gives pictures here. And right down here, oops, sorry, another page. This actually talks about a fact here, how he actually got his name of Dipper. and he was famous for being able to sing the Dipper Mouth Blues. So, and for that story, for going back to my novel, this was a direct correlation to how he actually came about with the nickname of Dipper. But this is Louis and his family right here. And then a little bit further back in the book, again, it talks, gives some pictures of his first coronet. And then in this picture here, shows the New Orleans jazz bands. And he was very famous for playing in jazz bands in the early days. And then on the next page in the novel, they also talk about the New Orleans Waif Boys Band. And Waif Boys was kind of like a school where they sent kids who couldn't stay out of trouble. So Louis spent some time there and met some of his future friends and musicians in that band, and they became the future musicians of jazz in New Orleans. So a little bit more fact. And then again, the one thing I liked about this biography is the fact that this is a fact page, so a child could turn right to the very back of this page and they could learn a bunch of facts about Louis Armstrong. So, everything they needed to know is right here. Again, I thought this was a good book. It's probably not for a younger reader. It's probably for an advanced reader or an older reader. But it's a very good book, and it's very, very straightforward biographical. And again, that kind of ties in all my books together on why I selected this group of books. So that is my Reading Rainbow episode on kind of tying in Louis Armstrong, New Orleans, and music. And I want to thank you for watching.